The legendary killer known as Jason has been caught by the US government and is being held at a research facility. Because he can't truly be killed, the scientists plan to cryogenically freeze him. A guard keeps getting creeped out by Jason's stare, so he throws a blanket over his head. Meanwhile, Dr. Rowan is arguing with her boss because it's been decided that instead of freezing Jason, they'll send him to a lab to research his regeneration abilities for profit. Rowan thinks it's a bad idea because it'll allow Jason to keep on killing, but her boss ignores her. Afterward, the scientist and a bunch of soldiers enter the room with Jason, but when they remove the blanket, they discover the guard's body in the chains instead. At that moment, Jason comes out of hiding and starts killing all the men in the room without mercy. The soldiers open fire on him, yet the bullets do nothing. Jason uses various objects to do his killing, including the chains from his captivity. When the lead scientist tries running away, Jason throws a tool to kill him too. Rowan is waiting outside and she screams when a soldier is thrown through the door. At that moment, Jason appears behind her, so Rowan picks up the soldier's gun and runs to the lab, where she hides and waits. In Lab 1, the group realizes they don't have protection anymore. Lo contacts the pilot and orders him to use hyperdrive to reach the Solaris port quickly. The ship does start going faster, but Jason appears behind the pilot and kills him as well. This causes the ship to fly blindly and it crashes right into Solaris, destroying several buildings and causing multiple explosions that damage the system and the hull. The ship goes through the buildings and just keeps flying ahead, leaving the Solaris port behind. Lo considers trying to fly the ship back, but they see on the window that the port explodes. All the students worry, so Lo tells them they just need to wait for another ship to help them because he's already activated a beacon. At that moment, someone starts banging on the door and everyone screams, causing the pounding to stop. As they wonder the meaning of this, Jason bursts in through the glass wall connected to the other lab. The group panics and starts running away, hiding in another room that KM-14 locks up. Lo stays behind and tries talking to Jason, offering him fame and fortune. Jason finds his original machete and immediately shuts Lo up. When Adrian turns around, she doesn't see him on the table. Jason suddenly appears behind her to grab her by the face and throw her across the room. Through the glass wall, Adrian screams to try to alert Wayland, but he can't hear her. Then Jason drags her back by her hair and dips her face into liquid nitrogen, freezing her head before smashing it on the counter to kill her. Next, he grabs a machete from the operation table and leaves to look for another victim. Meanwhile, Lo brings food to Rowan and pretends he doesn't know Jason's story, so she gives him all the details about Jason's inability to die. Afterward, Lo introduces Rowan to some of his students and she gets to admire some of their experiments, being particularly impressed by KM-14. At this moment, Wayland shows up with Jason's old machete and Rowan freaks out when she realizes they've brought Jason aboard too. Lo swears Jason is dead, but Rowan is skeptical and asks for proof. They go to Lab 2 and find Adrian's body, so Security Chief Brodsky declares a lockdown through the speakers and asks everyone to hide in Lab 1. In one of the rooms, a naughty couple of students gets ready to leave, but Jason appears at the door and immediately kills the boy, causing blood to splatter on a screaming Kinsa's face. Then Jason drags the guy away, so Kinsa runs to meet with the others and tell them what happened. Brodsky is furious and orders his solders to destroy Jason on sight. Looking at the ship's map, Rowan notices that there's an area without damage that could be disconnected from the main ship. While the group goes away to execute their plan, the machine in Lab 1 activates and starts healing Jason, giving him an improved metallic body. In the meantime, the group starts setting up bombs on the hallways to disconnect the damaged area from the intact one. It only takes them a few seconds, but once they're done, they find their path blocked by Uber Jason. KM-14 opens fire, yet all the bullets bounce off Jason's body. Then she tries hitting him, only for Jason to immediately decapitate her. Sanaran rushes to pick the head up and Rowan acts as his shield, so Jason starts chalking her. Waylander jumps in to fight him, and while Jason is distracted beating him up, the others escape into the intact area. Once everyone is safe, Waylander activates the bombs and the ship successfully separates in two, although he dies in the process and Jason is pushed out by the shockwave. Moments later, the rescue vessel finally is getting closer, however Jason suddenly punches through the wall from the outside. As the resulting hole starts to suck everything up, everyone rushes to hold on, but unfortunately Janessa chooses a grill that soon flies away. Rowan tries to reach out to her and their fingertips barely get to touch before Janessa is sucked away to her death. Afterward, Rowan, Brodsky, Sanaran, and KM-14's head make it to the other room and lock the door. Through the window, they see Jason punching through the walls again to re-enter the ship, so they start running away. Rowan is waiting outside and she screams when a soldier is thrown through the door. At that moment, Jason appears behind her, so Rowan picks up the soldier's gun and runs to the lab, where she hides and waits for Jason. When he comes in, she kicks the furniture and starts shooting him to push him into the pod, then she rushes to lock him up. Rowan activates the machine, but as the cryonisation begins, Jason still manages to thrust his machete through the door to stab her. This creates a breach in the machine that is detected by the facility, triggering a lockdown protocol. Cryogenic fluid spills into the room and Rowan gets frozen as well. 400 years later, Earth has become a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Since it's too polluted to live on it, humanity travels to a new planet named Earth 2. One day, Dr. Lowe and his team of college students visit Earth on a field trip. They get inside the facility and open the pod, discovering a frozen Jason inside. They also find Rowan on the ground, looking perfectly preserved. The team decides to take both bodies to their ship, and when they try to move Jason, he falls and his machete cuts off Azrael's arm. Fortunately, the android KM-14 quickly gives him an injection to deal with the pain for now. The group carries the bodies through a sandstorm and make it back to the shuttle, which immediately takes off and returns to the main ship. Brodsky is furious and orders his solders to destroy Jason on sight. Lowe isn't happy to hear this and asks Brodsky to sedate Jason instead, offering money as a bribe. Brodsky agrees to get him off his back, but then he tells his team to destroy Jason anyway. Soldier Dallas carefully enters a dark room and is suddenly attacked by a huge monster, which Dallas quickly shots down. When a second monster appears behind him, Dallas doesn't act fast enough, but luckily Azrael kills it with one shot. It turns out they're playing in a video game simulation and they haven't heard Brodsky's announcement. They are about to fight another monster only for Jason to appear and defeat it first. Then Jason attacks both guys with his machete, only to get confused when they continue to talk even while decapitated. Suddenly Dallas says game over and the simulation disappears, helping the duo realize the killer is real. Jason grabs Azrael and Dallas shoots him to make him drop his friend, but the bullets do nothing. Azrael tries jumping on Jason from behind, however Jason easily grabs him again and breaks his back before dropping him dead on the ground. Next he takes Dallas and smashes his face on the wall. Moments later, two soldiers find the bodies in the gaming room and inform the others, who are getting more worried by the second. At the same time, Engineer Crutch is working at his desk with his headphones on, so he doesn't know about the situation either. Suddenly he sees Jason approaching him in his mirror, and before he can react, Brodsky and his soldiers show up and tell him to duck. They shoot Jason dozens of times, destroying half the room in the process. Once the fire is over, they realize Jason is gone. After Crutch leaves for Lab 1, the soldiers split up to look for Jason, believing he must be severely wounded. This allows Jason to keep on killing quietly. To buy some time, Synarin connects KM-14's head to the computer and activates the video game simulation around Jason, using Earth's database of Jason's hometown to replicate it. At first Jason is confused, but soon Synarin thinks he's been seen, so he adds another distraction: two women that offer Jason alcohol, Mary Jane, and premarital naughty times. Jason hates all those things, so when the women get in their sleeping bags naked, Jason grabs one of them and uses her to start beating up the other. At that moment Brodsky finally resets the system and the gate opens. However, his messing with the wires also causes an explosion in the room that ends the simulation. As Jason comes for them, Rowan and Synarin run into the rescue vessel, only for Synarin to notice they forgot KM-14's head. Rowan goes back for her and rushes to the bridge when she sees Jason coming. The killer tries following her, however Brodsky shows up and closes the gate. The rescue vessel can't wait anymore and flies away while Brodsky clashes with Jason at the same time that this half of the ship also explodes. To Rowan and Synarin's horror, the shockwave sends Jason flying right toward them. Fortunately, Brodsky is also sent in that direction and pushes him away. Then Brodsky uses Jason as a shield as they fall into through the atmosphere of Earth 2, burning them both down in the process. Rowan, Synarin, and KM-14 finally relax, glad it's over. On Earth 2, a couple sees a shooting star falling in a lake and decides to investigate. The star is actually Jason's head, which may still be alive. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.